in high definition. This is News Center 7 at 11.
Chaos this morning at the University of Dayton.
Get in there, sure ass! Shut the door! Door now!
As thousands of students riot in the streets, throwing bottles and jumping on cars.
You know, how did this happen?
And now as students fill bars and campus houses again,
Let's go!
police say they're doing everything they can to make sure it doesn't happen again tonight. Good evening, I'm Yuna Lee in for Jenna Deary. We'll get to that riot at the University of Dayton in just a moment, but first, we're following a developing story tonight. We're hoping to learn more details soon about the death of a Kettering soldier. Chief Warrant Officer James Groves III died yesterday in Afghanistan. In a release, the Department of Defense says this was Groves' fourth deployment. He joined the Army in August of 2001. Groves had been awarded the Air Medal. His death is still under investigation. Now to the riot situation at UD. We have Team 7 coverage of the mayhem this morning that happened just streets away from our station. News Center 7's Kate Bartley is live with what police and the university have to say. Kate?
Thankfully, so far, St. Patrick's Day is coming to a much quieter end than it had as a beginning. We're seeing quite a few police officers, some students walking in duos and trios, some people on front porches, but no big groups right now, which is a good thing because UD says it will not tolerate any parties that were not sponsored by the university tonight.
The end result is this. Broken windshields, thousands of students on top of cars with beers in hand and on the ground. Police rushing right past our camera. But students say it started innocently enough.
Down in Kefauver, there was a big party going on. It was called 40s at 4. It's just everyone gets 40s and have beer and drinks them at 4 in the morning.
University police rushed to the scene for a fire alarm that turned out to be false, but students got a little too excited.
Somebody threw a 40 at the cop car and it broke across the windshield. So of course they called back up, and so the party just gets out of control at that point.
Soon police from the city of Dayton, Kettering, and others lined the street. The crowd damaged 11 cars, including one of those cruisers. Officers suited up in riot gear and walked in a line with masks and weapons. A shield even hit UD President Daniel Curran, who came to try and calm students. Police arrested one person who's not a student in Dayton. We got a copy of an email sent to students this morning which says, in part, while the vast majority of University of Dayton students were not involved in a St. Patrick's Day disturbance early this morning, the behavior of those who were is unacceptable and disappointing. After more than an hour of this, officers were finally able to get the crowds into their homes, and now they're hoping they'll stay there tonight.
We're seeing quite a few more students come out, just even in the last 5 minutes or so. But I've been talking to campus police today. They tell me they have 30 officers. All of them are working 12-hour shifts over the weekend and through the beginning of the week to make sure what happens this morning doesn't happen again. Live in Dayton, I'm Kate Bartley, News Center 7.
And 12 hours after the riot, most of the area was cleaned up, but there were still some beer cans and boxes left on the ground. That could be from students, though, out again to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Now, we caught up with a 2007 graduate at the university who says she's disappointed that students acted the way they did this morning.
A little ashamed that, that, those are students that go to the school that I love and loved going to. I feel like they need to represent it well or better and take care of the university rather than demolish it like that.
And shortly after the riot, we talked to current students who said this morning's actions were out of line. News Center 7's Drew Simon continues our Team 7 coverage. Drew?
And as many people know, the University of Dayton is a hotspot for St. Patrick's Day activities. And just as of last week, BroBible.com listed its top 15 party schools for the St. Patrick's Day holiday. The University of Dayton at the top of that list. But after this morning's riot, many students want everybody to know that this is not what the University of Dayton is all about.
Besides, Project X or something on TV, this is the first we've ever seen anything like this.
Glass littered the 400 block of Kefauver.
UD students kind of want to have a good time and enjoy it and not create a lot of problems.
Students and others jumped on vehicles, some dressed in costumes.
We saw everything on Twitter, and we just wanted to go see it for ourselves.
And what they saw was chaos. Bottles were thrown, vehicles damaged. It was a scene that many were surprised to see.
UD, we have a big community, and everybody usually gets along and stuff, so we're really surprised that all these events are going on.
While stunned, students, after all is said and done, without a doubt will be talking, remembering St. Patrick's Day 2013.
It's kind of ridiculous. It doesn't really reflect our kind of community nature that we normally have. It's kind of hard to see. I mean, people are having a good time, yeah, but all the stuff going on, it's kind of a shame.
And if you are interested in learning more about what the students were told following this morning's riot, you can find those statements on our website, WHIOTV.com. And also make sure you join in the Facebook conversation. I've posted a link on my Facebook page, Drew Simon, WHIO. We'd love to hear what you have to say. For now, though, reporting live on the campus of the University of Dayton, Drew Simon, News Center 7.
Well, this isn't the first time UD students have been unruly during St. Patrick's Day. Take a look at the big bonfire students set in the early 90s. This prompted school officials to move spring break during St. Patrick's Day. But in recent years, the university changed their spring break so students would be on campus for the holiday. Head over to our website for continuing coverage of the University of Dayton riot. We have raw video as students got out of control and officials stormed the street, plus pictures of the damage done in the area. It's all on the homepage of our website, WHIOTV.com. Well, some of us are starting to see some rain, a wintry mix in the area, too. Storm Center 7's meteorologist, McCall Vrydaghs, has been busy in our storm center tracking the system. Good evening, McCall.
Well, good evening, Yuna. And this system has really caused some problems for us here at Storm Center 7 through the last 5 days. Watching a front stalled out to the south, and it's just slowly starting to creep into our southern counties. But outside right now, you can see temperatures at about 35 degrees. We do have a wind at about 10 miles per hour out of a northeasterly direction, and that's giving us a wind chill of about 28 degrees. And with that dry weather through the day today, it wasn't so bad for your St. Patrick's Day, but take a look at this precipitation just creeping into Butler, Warren, and Clinton counties as we speak. We're seeing a little bit of some wintry precipitation in there. When does it spread throughout the Miami Valley, and how long does it last? I'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later. Yuna?
All right, McCall, thank you. And you're probably aware that today was Selection Sunday in college basketball. It's the who, when, and where of the NCAA tournament. Sports Director Mike Hartsock joins us live in the News Center with the details of who is coming to tip things off here in Dayton. Mike?
Yuna, let the madness begin. For the third straight year, the first 4 games of the NCAA tournament will be played at the UD Arena.
Anything can happen. That's what's great about March Madness is, you know, for at least one day, one game, everyone's got a shot at being the champion. It all starts here.
The fun actually got started this afternoon down at CJ High School. The Hoopla Challenge let local boys and girls showcase their talents, shooting for prizes that included T-shirts, first 4 tickets, and even an iPad mini. The real competition starts Tuesday night at the arena, and if you're looking for an underdog, look no further than Liberty. They bring in the only losing record in the field against North Carolina A&T. Also, Middle Tennessee takes on St. Mary's. Then on Wednesday night, it's Long Island up against James Madison. Boise State takes on LaSalle. Now, officially, the first 4 is sold out, but
if you need tickets, send an email to info@DaytonHoople.com. If you have tickets, use them, get into the arena, show the energy. The objective here is to continue to demonstrate that the first 4 and opening rounds belong in Dayton every year.
Tickets might be at a premium since Ohio State will be in town for a second-round game, but the Buckeyes aren't the only draw for local fans, I should say. I'll run down the others coming up later on in sports. Yuna, back to you.
Okay, Mike, thank you. And 2 high school football players from Steubenville will be spending at least the next year in juvenile jail after being convicted of raping a 16-year-old girl. The girl was drunk at a party when the 2 young men took advantage of her, an incident that played out over social media and text messages. Here's News Center 7's Andy Sedlak.
I'm sorry to put you guys through this. That's just not... 16-year-old Malik Richmond broke down as he apologized in a packed Steubenville, Ohio courtroom. It was the first time he and high school football teammate 17-year-old Trent Mays spoke after being found guilty of raping a drunken 16-year-old girl.
I would truly like to apologize to our family, my family, and the community.
The crime occurred last August after an alcohol-fueled party. It was brought to light after a series of morning-after texts, tweets, and online photos and videos. The case captured national attention when the hacker group Anonymous released a cell phone video and other material and accused the town of covering up the rape to protect its high school football team. On Saturday, the victim testified she could not remember what happened the night of the attack. After the verdict, her mother spoke.
This does not define who my daughter is. She will persevere, grow, and move on. I have pity for you both.
The judge said he hopes all young people will learn from this case.
And I hope all children and parents who have seen what we saw during this trial can have discussions about how you talk to your friends, about how you record things on the social media that's so prevalent today.
Both teenagers were sentenced to at least a year in juvenile jail. Mays will serve an additional year for disseminating a nude photo of a minor. Andy Sedlak reporting, News Center 7.
Police believe a driver may have been drinking before causing a serious head-on crash in Kettering. Take a look at the damage done near the intersection of Marshall Road and Lincoln Park Boulevard just after 6 tonight. Rescue crews had to use the jaws of life to get the driver out of the van, and officers say the driver of the sports car, who they believe caused the crash, was being uncooperative.
While speaking with the driver of unit number 1, there was the odor of alcoholic beverage coming from his person. We had asked him if he'd been drinking. He told us that was not relevant to the accident at this point.
The driver of the sports car did not take a breathalyzer test at the scene. Officers are still investigating. An unexpected power outage to more than 1,000 customers after a deadly crash. What else troopers believe a driver plowed through before coming to a halt. Plus, 2 deadly accidents on the same road. We'll tell you what we learned today about the latest wreck. And a horrific sight as a jet crashes into an Indiana home.
Next, Ellen, Jennifer Garner is back and a mother